Picture this. Two seniors. Same age, same OAS, same CPP. One of them is getting $200 more every single month than the other. Not because of luck, not because of some special program, just because one of them made one phone call and the other one didn't. Hello, I'm David Harper. The Canadian government does not treat every senior the same way, and starting this July, that gap is getting bigger. If you were born in the 1940s, the 1950s, or the 1960s, stay with me to the end, because new rules kick in this month that will change how much money lands in your account, and most seniors have no idea it's even happening. I'll be honest with you, some of these changes will put more money in your pocket, but only if you take one simple step. Others will quietly cost you hundreds of dollars a year if you do nothing at all. The difference comes down to one thing: knowing which group you belong to. That's exactly what this video will show you, decade by decade, with the real numbers, the real forms, and the exact words to say on the phone. So find your birth decade as we go, because the rule that matters most to you depends entirely on it. Here's what's at stake. We're talking about your old age security, your guaranteed income supplement, your Canada pension plan, and a few quiet adjustments almost nobody is talking about. Depending on your birth year and your income, these July rules could mean a few hundred extra dollars a month in your pocket, or a clawback you didn't even know was draining your account every single month. And here's the part that genuinely bothers me. Service Canada doesn't call you. They don't send a letter explaining every benefit you qualify for. Most of these programs need you to apply, to check, or simply to ask. If you sit back and wait for the government to find you and hand you what you're owed, you'll be waiting a very long time, maybe forever. The whole system runs on you knowing to act. So before we go further, do me one favor. If you're watching this channel, hit subscribe and tap the bell. These rules change every quarter. Payment amounts shift, income thresholds move, deadlines come and go. The people who are subscribed find out in time to act. The ones who aren't usually find out months later, after the deadline has passed and the money is already gone. Don't be in that second group. Here's the thing most people never find out. The Canadian retirement system is built to be passive, and that passivity works against you, not for you. Let me explain in plain language. Old age security and the guaranteed income supplement are reviewed and adjusted 4 times a year. In January, April, July, and October. These adjustments are tied to the Consumer Price Index, which is just the official measure of inflation, the cost of living. So every quarter the amount you receive can change based on how much prices have moved. July is one of those 4 adjustment points, which is why this month matters. Most seniors assume that when these amounts go up, the government automatically makes sure you're getting everything you qualify for. That is not how it works, and that assumption is expensive. The quarterly increase to your base payment, yes, that part happens automatically. But the supplements, the additional benefits, the income-tested top-ups, many of those require you to have filed your taxes on time, and some require you to apply or to ask directly. The automatic part is the small part. The part that needs you to act is where the real money lives. And here's the core problem that ties it all together. Service Canada uses your tax return from the previous year to calculate what you qualify for. So the income they're looking at right now is not the income you have today. It's the income you reported last year. If your situation has changed, stopped working, if a spouse passed away, if your investment income dropped, the system simply doesn't know that yet, and it won't until you tell it. It keeps treating you like the person you were a year or two ago. So this July, with new payment amounts and adjusted thresholds taking effect, there is a real window where thousands of seniors are either leaving money on the table or being clawed back on income they no longer earn. Which one is you depends on your birth decade. So let me show you exactly who's affected, group by group. Let me make this real with a made-up example because a story sticks better than a list. Let's call him Walter. Walter just turned 76 last year, a 1940s baby. He's been collecting his OAS for over a decade and never thinks twice about the amount. Whatever lands is whatever lands. What Walter doesn't know is that when he turned 75, he became eligible for a permanent 10% increase to his OAS, about $75 more every month for the rest of his life. It's supposed to be automatic, but because of a small error in how his file was set up years ago, that increase never properly kicked in. So for over a year now, Walter has been quietly underpaid. Close to $1,000 he should have received and didn't, simply because nobody flagged it and he never checked. One phone call would confirm it, and in many cases, get it corrected and back paid. Walter isn't careless, he just trusted that the number was right. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to make sure you're not a Walter. Keep him in mind as we go through the decades. I'm going to organize this by decade because the rules genuinely hit each group differently. Find yourself in one of these three and listen closely for your action step. Group 1, born in the 1940s. If you were born in the 1940s, you're now roughly 76 to 86 years old. And there's a specific rule that applies to you that younger seniors don't get yet. The age 75 old age security boost. Here's what that means. A few years ago, back in 2022, the government introduced a permanent 10% increase to old age security for everyone age 75 and over. If you're in the 1940s birth group, you're fully eligible, and it continues every single month for the rest of your life. Let me put the real current numbers on it. The maximum OAS for someone 75 and over sits at about $816 a month right now, compared to roughly $742 for those under 75. That's about $75 more a month just for crossing that age line. Over a year, that's nearly $900. Over 10 years, you're talking close to $9,000. Real money for one age milestone. This 10% increase is supposed to be automatic the month after you turn 75, but if your file has an error, if your birth date was entered incorrectly years ago, or if you deferred your OAS, it may never have kicked in properly. Exactly like Walter. Your action step is simple, and I want you to actually do it. Log into your My Service Canada account or call them and confirm that the 75 plus increase is being applied to your payment. Ask them to state your current monthly amount so you can check it against that $816 figure. Don't assume it's there, verify it. Group 2, born in the 1950s. If you were born in the 1950s, you're roughly 66 to 75 years old, and you're right in the heart of the decisions that matter most, and the place where the most money quietly disappears. Here's your situation. Many of you are either just starting OAS or are in your first several years of it. And this July, the income threshold for the OAS clawback, officially called the OAS recovery tax, has been adjusted again. Listen carefully because this is where real money is lost without you ever noticing. If your net income goes above a certain threshold for this period, about $93,454 a year, the government begins clawing back your OAS at a rate of 15 cents for every dollar over that line. On a full OAS benefit, depending how far over you are, that can mean hundreds of dollars a month quietly pulled back out of your check. And here's the part nobody tells you. That clawback is based on last year's income. So if you retired recently and your income has dropped, you may be getting clawed back right now on money you no longer earn. Penalized for a salary or a one-time bump that's already gone. If that's you, there's a form that fixes it, the T1213 OAS, the Request to Reduce Old Age Security Recovery Tax at Source. You file it with the CRA to have your clawback recalculated based on your current lower income instead of last year's higher number. Most people have no idea this option exists, and it can put hundreds of dollars a month back in your pocket. I'll repeat that form at the end so you have it. T1213 OAS. Group 3, born in the 1960s. If you were born in the 1960s, you're roughly 56 to 65. You're either just entering this world or you're a few years out. And the July rules matter to you for a different reason entirely: timing. Here's your decision point, and it's one of the most important financial choices of your life. You can start your CPP as early as 60, or you can wait. If you take CPP at 60, your payment is permanently reduced by 36% compared to taking it at 65. If you wait all the way to 70, your payment is permanently increased by 42%. Let me make that concrete. Say your CPP at 65 would be $1,000 a month. Take it at 60 and it drops to about $640 a month, and it stays at that reduced amount for the rest of your life. Wait until 70 and it climbs to about $1,420 a month for the rest of your life. Over a 20-year retirement, that difference adds up to well over $100,000. Your action step, if you're in the 1960s group: do not start your CPP this July just because you became eligible. Run the numbers first. The decision is permanent. There is no undo button, and that's exactly what we need to talk about next. I gave you Walter for the 1940s. Let me give you one for each of the other 2 decades, because seeing it happen to a real feeling person is what makes it click. For the 1950s, picture a woman we'll call Carol. Carol is 71. 2 years ago, she sold a small rental property, and that sale pushed her income way up for that 1 year. Then her income dropped right back down to her normal modest level. But because the clawback runs on that older inflated tax year, Service Canada has been clawing back a chunk of her OAS every month, penalizing Carol on a one-time gain that's long gone and already spent. She has no idea it's even happening. She just knows her OAS deposit looks smaller than her neighbor's. The fix for Carol is the T1213 OAS form, telling the CRA to recalculate on her current lower income. One form, and the clawback can stop, but until she knows to file it, the money keeps draining away. For the 1960s, picture a man we'll call Dave. Dave just turned 60, money is a little tight, and the moment he became eligible, he started his CPP thinking, why wait, I'll take it now. Nobody sat him down to run the numbers. By starting at 60 instead of 65, Dave locked in a 36% permanent cut for the rest of his life. If he lives a long retirement, that single quick decision could cost him well over $100,000 compared to waiting. It wasn't necessarily the wrong choice for his situation, but he made a permanent 6-figure decision in an afternoon, on a guess, without ever seeing what waiting would have meant. That's the trap of the 1960s group. Not the wrong answer, but no answer at all. No numbers, just a guess. Carol and Dave aren't foolish. They're ordinary, careful people who simply weren't handed the information. The whole point of this video is to make sure you're handed it. Keep them both in mind. Now I need to slow down and be very serious with you, because this is the part that keeps me up at night. Almost every major decision in the Canadian retirement system is permanent, and Service Canada does not warn you before you make a permanent mistake. They process your application exactly as you submitted it, and they move on. Let me give you the clearest example. The moment you elect to start your CPP early, that reduction locks in. There is no undo button. If you start at 60 and realize at 64 that you made a mistake, you cannot reset it to the higher amount. That 36% reduction follows you for the rest of your life, every single month, until the day you pass away. It does not bounce back at 65. It never bounces back. The same is true for the clawback. If you don't request that recalculation when your income drops, the government keeps clawing back based on the old higher number, and you don't get that money back retroactively just because you eventually figure it out. That error sits there silently, month after month, draining your benefit while you assume the amount must be correct because the government calculated it. And here's the institutional reality you have to accept. Service Canada is not going to phone you and say, "We noticed your income dropped. Would you like us to stop clawing back your pension?" That conversation does not happen. The system is built to wait for you to ask. The quiet senior who doesn't ask is the one who loses. There's one more permanent trap, and it catches the most vulnerable seniors of all. The Guaranteed Income Supplement, the GIS, is a benefit for low-income seniors that can add over $1,000 a month, but it can be cut off the moment you fail to file your taxes on time. If you miss filing, your GIS can be suspended, and you have to get it reinstated. And here's the cruel part. Retroactive GIS only reaches back so far, so every month it sits suspended while you sort it out is money you may simply never see again. So understand this clearly and let it land. The cost of doing nothing in this system is not zero. It is real dollars every month, often permanently, which is exactly why I'm now going to give you the precise steps to protect yourself. Before the steps, let me clear up a few beliefs I hear constantly, because each one keeps people from acting. If I qualified for more, they'd have told me. They won't. The system pays what's on your file. It doesn't go hunting for benefits you missed. That call is never coming, which is exactly why you have to make it yourself. My pension amount is set. It doesn't really change. It changes constantly. Re-indexed 4 times a year, the clawback threshold moving annually, the 75 plus boost, your GIS resetting every July. A number you set up years ago almost certainly deserves a fresh look. Starting CPP early just means I get it sooner. No big deal. It's one of the few truly permanent decisions in your retirement. Sooner can be the right call for some people, but only after you've seen the numbers. Don't make a lifetime decision on a guess. If I call and start asking questions, they might cut my payment. Calling to confirm your own information does not put you at risk. The people who get cut are usually the ones who didn't update something, not the ones who checked. Here is exactly what to do. Write these down, or come back to this part of the video when you can sit down with your information. Step 1. Call Service Canada at 1-800-277-9914. That's the dedicated line for Old Age Security, GIS, and the Canada Pension Plan. When you get through, ask them to confirm 3 things, plainly: that your OAS is being paid at the correct rate, that the 75 plus increase is applied if you're over 75, and that the income on file used to calculate your benefits is accurate and current. Step 2. If your income has dropped since the tax year they're using, ask about reducing your OAS clawback. The form is the T1213 OAS, filed with the CRA, used when you've had a major income drop from retirement or the loss of a pension. Tell them clearly, my income has decreased and I want my OAS recovery tax reduced based on my current income. That single request can stop the clawback and put the money back in your monthly check. Step 3. Set up your My Service Canada account online if you haven't already. Go to canada.ca and search My Service Canada account. This is where you can see your CPP estimate, your OAS payments, and your contribution history without waiting on the phone. And it's where you check whether your numbers make sense before you ever decide anything. Step 4. If you're trying to decide when to start CPP, request your personalized statements of contributions and your estimated monthly amounts at 60, 65, and 70. Do not make this decision on a guess or on what a friend did. Get the actual numbers for your own file and look at them side by side before you choose. Step 5. File your taxes every single year on time, even if you have little or no income. This is the one that protects your GIS. Filing is what keeps these income-tested benefits flowing automatically. Miss it and you risk a suspension that takes months to fix. If money or confusion is the barrier, the free Community Volunteer Income Tax Program does taxes for low-income seniors at no cost. Search free tax clinics on canada.ca or call the CRA at 1-800-959-8281. And keep your documents ready, your old tax returns, your CPP statements, your benefit letters. If you don't have them, you can pull most of it through your My Service Canada account or by calling that same number, and the agent can retrieve a lot of it while you wait. One last thing, none of these steps cost you a fee. Anyone who calls demanding payment to unlock your pension is running a scam. I'm in my late 60s. Do both the clawback and the 75 plus boost apply to me? Not yet on the boost. That starts the month you turn 75. The clawback can apply at any age if your income is high enough. So for now, your focus is the clawback in your CPP, and the 75 plus boost becomes your thing to verify once you cross that age. My income is low. Does the clawback even matter for me? If your income is well under about $93,000, the clawback isn't your worry. Focus instead on the GIS and on filing your taxes to keep it flowing. The clawback mainly hits higher income seniors. I already started my CPP at 60. Is there anything I can do? The early start reduction is permanent and can't be reversed, but if you're still working and contributing, you may be building a small post-retirement benefit on top, worth confirming on a call even though the base amount is locked. My spouse and I are different ages. Does that change anything? It can help. Pension income splitting lets couples shift income between spouses to lower combined tax, and a difference in your incomes is exactly where it pays off. Raise it with whoever prepares your return. How will I even notice if something's wrong? Compare your deposits month to month, especially around July when the new period starts. If your OAS suddenly drops, that can be the clawback. If your GIS stops, check whether your taxes were filed. A small habit of glancing at your statements catches most problems early. Is it too late to fix a past error, like a missed 75+ increase? Often no. Service Canada can correct file errors and, in many cases, issue retroactive payments within the allowed window. The sooner you flag it, the more you can recover. So don't put it off. I deferred my OAS. Does the 75+ boost still apply to me? Yes. Deferring changes when and how much you start with, but turning 75 still qualifies you for the higher rate. Deferral is actually one of the situations where the 75+ increase sometimes doesn't get applied cleanly on the file, so it's especially worth confirming on a call. I don't owe any tax. Do I really have to file to keep my GIS? Yes, absolutely. For low-income seniors, the tax return isn't about what you owe. It's the document that proves your income so your GIS can be recalculated and keep flowing. No return means no proof, and that can suspend the payment. Low income is the reason to file, not the reason to skip it. What's the single most important thing if I only do one thing today? If you're over 75, call and confirm your 75+ increase. If your income dropped recently, ask about the T1213 OAS to reduce your clawback. And if you're approaching 60, do not start CPP until you've seen your numbers at 60, 65, and 70. Pick the one that matches your decade and do that first. Can a family member help me make these calls or handle this? Yes, and you should let them if it helps. You can have a trusted family member on the call with you or set up consent so they can speak to Service Canada on your behalf. There's no shame in needing a hand, and the seniors who get every dollar are often the ones who ask someone they trust to help them make the call. Will fixing one of these affect my other benefits? Sometimes the pieces interact. For example, more income can affect an income-tested benefit like GIS. That's not a reason to leave money unclaimed. It's a reason to get the full picture. If you're unsure how a change ripples through, ask Service Canada or a free tax clinic to walk you through your specific situation. Let me prepare you for one more thing, because it happens. On one of these calls, you might be told you don't qualify, or that everything's already correct when you suspect it isn't. Don't let that end it. First, if you're told no, ask why. Specifically, can you tell me exactly which requirement I don't meet or what income figure you're using? Sometimes it's a simple fix. Your income on file is out of date, a form never arrived, or you're being assessed on the wrong year. Other times, the frontline agent simply isn't the right department, and it's fair to ask, is there someone who handles benefit reviews or recalculations I should speak to? Second, if you genuinely don't qualify for something today, your situation can change. Incomes drop, a spouse passes, a pension ends. The moment your circumstances change, you may qualify when you didn't before. So a no this year is worth rechecking down the road, not filing away as permanent. And third, remember these are run by different parts of the system. Service Canada for your OAS and GIS, the CRA for the clawback form, and your taxes. A no on one has no bearing on the others. So if one door closes, you still knock on the rest. Politeness plus persistence is the combination that gets seniors their money. Be kind to the person on the phone, but don't give up on the first no. I know that for a lot of you, the hardest part of all of this isn't understanding it. It's picking up the phone. Calling a government line feels intimidating. You worry you'll be on hold forever, that you'll say the wrong thing, that they'll be impatient with you. So let me walk you through exactly what that call looks like, start to finish, so you know what to expect before you ever dial. You call 1-800-277-9914. You'll usually go through an automated menu first. Listen for the option for Old Age Security and the Canada Pension Plan. And if you're unsure, you can often stay on the line or press 0 to reach a person. Yes, there can be a wait, sometimes a long one, especially right after July when the new benefit period begins. My honest advice, call early in the morning if you can and put the phone on speaker so you can sit back comfortably while you wait. It's worth it. When an agent comes on, the first thing they'll do is verify who you are. They'll ask for your social insurance number and a couple of details, your date of birth, your address, to confirm they're talking to the real you. This is completely normal, and it's how they protect you. And notice the difference. You calling the official number and being asked to verify yourself is exactly how it's supposed to work. A stranger phoning you out of the blue demanding those same details is a scam. Same information, opposite situation. Once you're verified, you're in charge. You don't have to be an expert. You just ask your questions, one at a time, and write down the answers. Can you confirm my current OAS amount and whether the July adjustment was applied? I'm over 75. Can you confirm I'm getting the higher rate for my age group? Is the income on file used to calculate my benefits current? My income has dropped. How do I reduce my OAS recovery tax? Ask the ones that fit your decade. Write down the agent's name and the date you called. If they tell you something needs fixing, ask plainly, what exactly do I do next, and how long until it shows up in my payment? Get that answer before you hang up, and if you don't understand something, it's completely fine, but smart even to say, can you explain that more simply? The people who walk away with the right answer are the ones who keep asking until it's clear. There is no version of this where checking your own file hurts you. If everything's correct, you get peace of mind. If something's wrong, you've just turned a quiet monthly loss into money coming back. You win either way for making the call. So let's bring it together. Here is the full picture, decade by decade. If you were born in the 1940s, you qualify for the 75-plus OAS increase, about $75 more a month, bringing the maximum to roughly $816. Action: verify it's actually being applied to your file and ask them to state your amount. If you were born in the 1950s, watch the OAS clawback threshold, about $93,454. If your income dropped, file the T1213 OAS with the CRA and stop losing money on income you no longer earn. If you were born in the 1960s, your CPP timing decision is permanent. Taking it at 60 cuts it by 36% for life. Waiting to 70 raises it by 42% for life. Get your real numbers at 60, 65, and 70 before you decide. For everyone, the permanent traps are the same three: starting CPP too early, ignoring a clawback recalculation, and missing your tax filing and losing your GIS. None of these correct themselves. None of them come looking for you. And the single thread running through all of it, the government does not notify you, does not warn you, and does not apply most of these benefits automatically. The only thing standing between you and this money is knowing it exists and making one phone call to act on it. So make it this week. A quick note, this is general information to help you protect your own benefits, not financial or legal advice. And amounts, thresholds, and rules are adjusted through the year and can change. Always confirm your own situation and the current figures directly with Service Canada at canada.ca or the CRA before acting. If this helped you, subscribe so you catch the next quarterly update before the deadline, not after. And do one more thing for me. Think of one person you know, a parent, a neighbor, a friend on OAS or CPP, and send them this video today. The clawback recalculation alone could save them hundreds of dollars, and they'll probably never hear about it from anyone else. Take care of yourself, take that one step, and I'll see you in the next one.